everyone, and welcome back to the Hazardous Artist Series, Episode 12, Coral Reef Adventure. We are on a new animal this week. Or should I say, animals. That's right. We have a blue tang and a clownfish this week. The tropical coral reef fish. I love coral reefs. They're my favorite habitats. Well, marine habitats anyway. If you guys are curious to the coloring processes that I go through with the basic, the shading, and the highlighting, head on over to my Hazardous Artist Series, Episode 1, for all your coloring needs. And if you guys are interested in the bane of my existence, the inking process, you will soon learn why I'm called the Hazardous Artist if you do. But head on over to the Hazardous Artist Series, Episode 7, to find out exactly how I come up with my lines. So today, you guys, I am going to continue on with a part 2 of my Animal Crossing obsession. Because it's my favorite game, and they just came out with a new update. Well, it came out the 29th, but then you couldn't really do anything until the 1st of October. So, they came with new pumpkins you can plant, it came with new recipes and new furniture, and I guess outdoor decor. They came up with body paints and eye colors and new reactions, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Can you guys tell? But it's because it's all my favorite month of the year. Halloween is my favorite holiday, and I always cannot get enough of Halloween. And I can't even tell you if it's because of the season it falls under or if it's because I like to be spoopy and it won't be socially unacceptable this month. So let me tell you about this update in Animal Crossing. So I finally, all the new stuff came in today since it's October 1st. I immediately went to buy a bunch of pumpkins because why not? And you bought 10 or 15 pumpkins. And the hardest part was honestly just trying to find a place to put a pumpkin patch. I didn't really have anywhere to put a pumpkin patch. Most of my island is covered in flowers. If you guys were here last week, I did talk a little bit about my flowers and my breeding flowers. And I do actually have a particular spot on my island in which I breed my flowers, and it takes up almost half of that side of the island. So I did actually have to shorten it after I got most of the colors I needed, but it's still pretty spacious. And spacious is not the right terminology at all. It's pretty cramped, so I didn't really know where to put it. Eventually I did find a good place that I thought was good for myself. I might change it later, but I put it behind my town hall, and that's because I didn't really know what to do with that space, so I just been watering my roses there, and I've been getting nothing but purple roses, so it's just a bunch of purple roses there. So I cleaned it up a little bit, moved some of my roses around, and now I have a pumpkin patch back there, and I'm very excited. I got my first Halloween recipe that wasn't the 2 given recipes that you get from the Time Nook ATM in Town Hall. And it was the, what did they call it? The pumpkin harvester? I don't remember what the actual decor was, but it's 2 pumpkins with a hay bale. I don't know how many of you got that when you got on to look at your new products for the season, but I was pretty excited. I put it right there at my pumpkin patch too, like such a weirdo. So I spent most of my morning, other than my daily routine of watering my flowers, finding a scallop for Pascal, and trying to find the one villager doing a recipe. I did spend a good chunk of my morning finding a place for a pumpkin patch, planting my pumpkins like I did with the horseshoe crabs. I don't know if I mentioned in the last video that I have 22 horseshoe crabs on my island. They're scattered like a hide-and-seek game. And anytime anybody comes on my island, I always have to mention it. Like it's the biggest bragging right I have about my island. Not the flowers that I spent 6 months breeding, but the horseshoe crabs that are scattered on my island. Some in obvious places, some in not so obvious places. But yeah, I Every time a person comes on my island, I say, "Hey, I got 22 horseshoe crabs. Find them!" And so much fun. You know, a couple of my friends are kind of tired of hearing it all the time, but I giggle every time. So I think I got 15 pumpkins, but I only planted about 10. There's 6 in the pumpkin patch, and then a couple here and there. And then I'll probably scatter more across my island later tonight and fix up my flower breeding area a little bit so I can have a little bit more space. But I am so excited. I got the facial, the body paint and the eye color recipes that you get from the town hall, but I haven't really gone to a vanity or a mirror to really change it or see what I have available for my character. And that's only because I was busy today, so I had no choice but to prioritize and time manage my day and cut that short. But I'm gonna do it later tonight. Yeah, this update's gonna be crazy. So before the update came, actually, what I did this month and what I did actually last month too was I looked up what was new in the month in animals, so bugs, fish, and sea creatures. And I had gotten all of them but the golden trout. And so I spent, not that the golden trout was going to disappear after the month of September, but I wanted to get it out of the way since it was a nighttime fish, and I really don't want to stay up late when I catch things, which was my problem with the golden stag, because I still don't have it, and it's one of those stags that only appear after 9 p.m. So I spent the last 4 nights, about maybe an hour or two. I didn't really spend a lot of time on it. Like I said, I didn't want to stay up late, and which didn't really help anyway. But they're only a cliff-top river fish, and that's the only place you can find them. So I spent the last 4 nights doing that, and the other night I just shook my head and thought maybe my rivers weren't wide enough or something because I just wasn't getting good spawns. And so I thought, you know what? I'll island hop because you can catch animals by island hopping. And I thought, wow, that's such a great idea, Mel. Good job. Good job. First night I went island hopping, I got 5 Nook tickets because I wasn't sure. You never know when you're going to land on a bamboo island and totally regret your decision and life choices. So the first 5, I used all 5 this night, by the way, you guys. So the first one, I landed on a bell island, and this was the island that had nothing but hardwood trees and scorpions. Yeah, nothing but scorpions. They're the only insect that spawns on that island. Unless, I think if you shake a tree and a wasp nest comes out, you can spawn wasps. But, so, while I should have been more excited because that is a rare island, there's only a 2% chance, I think, of ever landing on that island. I have a lot of bells in my bank back on my island, and I already got everything that I ever need, pretty much. So I just kind of shrugged at it and just was so tedious. I was just tiptoeing around scorpions, like banging rocks in my enraged fury that there were no cliff-top rivers on this particular island. So I cashed in 100,000 bells for sure, and then I caught 3 scorpions so I can bring it back to Flick to make a model out of it whenever Flick returns to my island. And I angrily left the island, and I shook my head and was just so upset. But I didn't want to give up. I did not want to give up, so I went back to the airport and was like, "Hey, take me to another island." And, the dodo there was like, "Okay." And so we flew off to another island, and it was not a cliff-top river island at all, but it was a rare insect island, and it's where all the rare insects spawn. And I find it funny because that would have been a perfect island to land on in July, where all the stags are super hard to catch anyway, but it wasn't. And this particular island had nothing but, there was a couple cliff tops, but there were no rivers, no ponds, nothing. And it had nothing but deciduous trees. So all the fruit-bearing trees without the fruit And, I was seeing Atlas moths, the earth boring beetle, which I don't even think is rare. I did see one Goliath beetle because they're still here, or they were in the month of September. I don't know about October, but I caught all those already. In fact, I have a model of one of them. Two of them. I have a model of two of them. And I was pretty beside myself, and I was just shaking my head going, why, oh, why? Like, I'm happy that I got two rare islands back to back, but not really happy that it wasn't an island I was looking for. So I left pretty angrily still and tried again, but the next island that I got was, I want to say it was a pond island because there was nothing but a pond there and there was no rivers, so I was just, throwing my hands up in the air like, why? And just didn't happen. So I got what I needed from that island, and I hopped off of that island to go to another island, and then the other island was a bamboo island, and I was just, screaming internally because it was, 10 o'clock at night, and I didn't want to wake up anybody in the house. So I got off that island very, very quickly because there was nothing on that island that was of use to me. And then the last island that I happened on was Spiral Island, which is the river that spirals inland with no cliff tops or anything. So, yeah, I think I rage quit Animal Crossing after that and just gave up for the night. And then yesterday I thought, okay, we're going to try this island hopping thing again. And I got 5 more Nook Miles tickets because I have too many Nook Miles. And first island was the Waterfall Island, which is nothing but cliff top rivers. And I was just at myself about it because that's amazing. That never usually happens. So I spent, I don't know, like an hour and a half on that island going back and forth. I kind of had a good idea about the shadow size of the golden trout, but, it would have taken a while because I caught 3 pike. I caught a saddled bitcher. I don't know if that's how you actually pronounce it. Could be pronounced bitcher or yeah. But yeah, I caught one of those. It's a 15,000 bell fish, and then I caught a char, which just shaking my head about. So it took all of those before I finally, and a king salmon, but I find king salmon pretty easily. Before I finally found the golden trout, the golden fish that I was looking for. And I was so excited that I threw my hands in the air and fell back on the bed like my life is complete. And it was raining on this particular island, so part of me was also trying to find a coelacanth, but when it comes to coelacanths, they find me more than I find them, and that's the strangest thing to say, but so now we're gonna move on. I turned in my golden trout to wow, I forgot his name, but in the museum, I already turned it in, so. But with coelacanths, I have caught 3 my entire life. All 3 have been caught on my island, and they were all by happenstance. Like, there's no other way to describe it. I'm pretty good with my fish shadows. If I see a fish shadow, I can get a general range of what fish I'm looking at. And if it's a big fish, it's usually a sea bass. But, so I was, all 3 times I was walking along my beach and I looked at a shadow and went, shadow looks a little weird to me. Like, it looks like a sea bass, but not really. And then I'd shoot my lure out with my fishing rod and I'd come up with a coelacanth and giggle to myself because that's not an easy thing to do. So you guys, we are coming to a close on this video. I hope you enjoyed this Animal Crossing Part 2 because it's my favorite game. I'm obsessed with it, and with the new update, who wouldn't be? There's pumpkins now, and I get to be Spoopy. So if you guys did enjoy this video a lot, then stay tuned next week as we continue on with another cute animal parade. But so I lost my train of thought, but bear with me. Like this video, comment below on anything you want to know, including my artwork, and share with everyone you know. And I'll see you guys next week. But if you guys want to see more of my work, I do live streams now on Saturdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on twitch.tv/panel protagonists. And this one's a little bit more edgier. I have a potty mouth and it doesn't get filtered. So, if you guys want to hear more about video games I played or even pop culture that I know, or you just want to watch me draw while Jesse and Tori talk, then come find me on Saturdays at 3 p.m. on Twitch. If you need the link, you could go to my Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram accounts, and you'll find the link right there in one of the reminder posts. But until then, you guys, dare to create.